If you're passionate about your work but feel like you're constantly drowning, whether you're leading a team or being led by someone who seems overwhelmed, you're not broken, you're just caught in a broken system. And the next 15 minutes will show you exactly why this is happening and what you can actually do about it.
A broken system. Or uh, maybe a lack of personal agency in, navigating the challenges within it. I think we need to unpack that, like, right away.
Okay, let's do that. Welcome to Monarch's AI Cast, where we discuss organizational health, leadership, and workplace wellness. Today, we're diving deep into a leadership crisis that's affecting millions, and we're using one of the most high-pressure sectors as our case study, the nonprofit world.
Millions is quite a number. I'd say the crisis is maybe more nuanced than some kind of blanket failure across the board.
Oh, it absolutely affects millions, and we'll definitely get into the nuance. Whether you're a leader feeling unprepared, maybe overwhelmed, or perhaps you're a team member watching your manager struggle and wondering why good people keep burning out, well, you're in the right place. We're going to expose why so many mission-driven organizations systematically fail both their leaders and their teams.
See, systematically fail. That suggests it's designed to fail, rather than maybe facing solvable challenges. I tend to think of it as more of a systemic oversight, maybe.
An oversight that leads to failure, though, right? Regardless of intent. We'll cover the hidden costs of this crisis and the practical solutions that work for everyone, no matter your role or industry.
Okay, practical solutions that work for everyone. Now that sounds promising. Let's hear it.
Exactly. If you're in a leadership position, you'll discover why you feel so unsupported. If you're supporting leaders, or maybe hope to become one, you'll learn what makes leadership sustainable and effective, especially when resources are tight. So yeah, let's peel back the layers on this core idea from our source material, leading on empty.
It's a powerful phrase, isn't it? Our source, it really defines leading on empty as, running on fumes. Your leadership capacity is just constantly drained because the system, the organization around you, it lacks the ways to refuel you to support your growth.
Yeah, you're drained, unsupported.
Exactly. And you're missing that crucial development you need to really thrive. What's kind of striking here is how organizations focused on helping others can inadvertently leave their own leaders in this state.
That's such a critical point, and it's so important, like you said, to stress this isn't about personal weakness. It's not a lack of drive.
Right.
It's often a direct result of, well, systemic underinvestment in leadership development. I mean, think about it. You're juggling a crazy workload. Your one-on-ones feel like quick status checks, not real coaching.
Yeah, just checking boxes.
Exactly. Or you're just wishing you had more structured help with, I don't know, giving feedback, handling team conflict. Those are the signs. You're doing the leader job without the leader tools or fuel.
I totally see that feeling, and it's everywhere. But the why, that's where we need to dig a bit deeper, I think. Our source points out this common but flawed assumption, especially in the social sector, that if you're a really motivated, high-performing individual, you'll just naturally become a great leader.
Right, just promote the best doer.
Exactly, particularly in places like nonprofits where they rely so much on that, inner drive to serve. But look, passion, talent, they're great, invaluable even. But leadership, that's not just something you're born with. It's a whole different skill set. It absolutely needs cultivation, practice, structured development.
And that's where the systemic argument really hits home for me. I mean, the reality for so many organizations, especially nonprofits, is they're just squeezed financially. Budgets are incredibly tight. Constant pressure to show maximum impact with minimum overhead. And then you've got this turbulent political, economic, climate shifting funding around all the time. So in that kind of environment, things like leadership training, mentorship, real professional growth, they start to feel like, I don't know, luxuries, not essential operations. And this creates what our source calls a leadership vacuum, this systemic lack of the right support that leaves good, passionate people just kind of flailing in these really important roles. It almost feels unavoidable sometimes,
Unavoidable. See, I'd push back on that framing a bit. Yes, the budget constraints are real, absolutely. But calling leadership development a luxury, that's the core of the problem, isn't it? If leaders feel unprepared, it's not usually because they can't do it. It's because they haven't been given the specific tools, the frameworks, the support they actually need.
But how do they get them if the organization...
Well, it demands a shift in thinking, right?
Yeah.
From seeing development as this extra cost to seeing it as a crucial investment. It means leaders maybe need to be more proactive, seeking out solutions, advocating for these tools, even with those constraints.
Yeah.
Talent alone isn't enough. You have to nurture it. You wouldn't just hand someone a complex machinery without training, just because they really want to build something, would you?
That's a fair analogy, but it still loops back to the organization's role, doesn't it? If that infrastructure just isn't there, what's one leader supposed to do? Which brings us nicely to the skills gap our source talks about. It points to research showing consistently that the top skills for leaders are actually all soft skills.
Right, and this is where the research gets really interesting. Our source makes it clear these aren't just, you know, nice to haves. They are actual developable skills. Things like strategic collaboration, emotional intelligence, innovative problem solving.
Things that sound, well, soft, but are actually hard to master.
Exactly. And there's data. Research shows investing in these can boost team productivity by like 12%, cut turnover by 20%. Our source highlights that leadership confidence, especially in the social sector, is often low, not because there's a lack of talent, but a real lack of investment in developing that talent. These are skills that can be taught and improved.
I hear you, and yeah, formal training helps, definitely. But I also wonder, don't many really great leaders pick up these soft skills through, I don't know, just innate ability or tough on the job experience or even just intense personal growth from being thrown in the deep end? It feels like formal teaching isn't the only way. A lot of people learn by doing.
Sure, learning by doing, hands-on experience. It's valuable, indispensable even. But it's often, let's be honest, kind of chaotic, maybe inefficient without a solid foundation. Dedicated resources, structured training, consistent mentorship, I really think those are essential to build these complex skills effectively, consistently. It's about giving people a roadmap, and the fuel to follow it. Just relying on learning by doing can mean repeating mistakes, struggling longer than necessary. Why make leaders reinvent the wheel?
But that roadmap, that fuel, it always comes back to the budget, especially in nonprofits, right? Those budget constraints, they directly limit these opportunities. Good training, workshops, conferences,
I don't
coaching,
think you do. So let me stop you there. Not taking action because of the budget, that has huge negative consequences. For the leader, sure, but also for the organization, and crucially, for the cause they're serving. Leadership development isn't some optional extra. It's a core necessity for survival and impact, especially when resources are tight. It's an investment that prevents much bigger costs later.
I get the argument, I really do, and it's powerful. But practically, when money's tight, these things do become inaccessible. It leaves leaders feeling stuck, professionally stagnant. It feels like a real personal barrier when you know you need to improve certain skills, but just can't get there because the organization hasn't invested. It's frustrating to hear it's a necessity when the resources just aren't allocated.
And that frustration, that's exactly why we need to challenge that luxury mindset. It's easy to fall into what our source calls the passion trap.
Oh, yeah, right? Because having a big heart automatically means you've got a top-notch conflict resolution toolkit and amazing strategic foresight. Yeah, sign me up for that magic leadership course.
Look, passion is incredible. It's what pulls people into this sector and keeps them going. But leadership is a separate, complex skill set.
Yeah.
It needs more than just motivation. In fact, sometimes really passionate people are even more at risk of burnout because they always put the mission first before their own needs, their own development.
They sacrifice themselves for the cause.
Precisely. They might even resist formal training, thinking, oh, my passion will get me through. But it's not enough just to care deeply. You have to be equipped to lead effectively, sustainably.
And when you're not equipped, the personal cost is huge. Leading on empty, it's not just being less effective, it's massive stress, real burnout. And honestly, it's heartbreaking to see that initial passion just fade. It kills job satisfaction, creates this awful cycle of poor performance and declining mental and physical health. I've seen it so many times. It's exhausting just to watch, let alone live through.
And this is exactly where that oxygen mask analogy fits perfectly. In these high-stakes environments, nonprofits especially, your first instinct is always outward focus on the mission, the people you serve. But like on a plane, you have to put your own mask on first before you can help anyone else.
Right. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. When a leader is running on empty, the negative impact doesn't just stop with them. It ripples out. Big time. An unsupported leader. That often means their team feels lost, lacks energy, maybe there's no clear direction. Think about it. A team missing deadlines because the leader is too swamped to set priorities clearly.
Or client relationships suffer because the manager is too stressed for thoughtful feedback.
Right. Organizations miss opportunities, they get stuck in strategic ruts, or they face high leadership turnover, which is incredibly disruptive and expensive. Ultimately, your ability to actually do the good work, to contribute to the cause you care about, it gets seriously diminished. It's not just about your burnout, it affects the whole mission.
Okay, so if the cost is that high, what about real solutions? The good news is tech-driven tools are emerging now, specifically designed to give that support, that fuel, even with those tight budgets we keep mentioning. Our source talks about leadership intelligence tools that can fit right into your existing workflow. They're not just more dashboards to check.
But, I mean, tools are only as good as the person using them, aren't they? Does just having the tool automatically make you a better leader? Or is it still about the leader's commitment to actually use it to develop themselves? I wonder if technology alone really gets to the root cause, that fundamental need for a leader to take ownership of their growth. It's not a magic wand, is it?
No, not a magic wand, definitely not. But it is an accelerant. And it makes proactive leadership much more achievable. Think about Monarch's one-on-one tool, for instance. It's a great example of what our source means by leadership intelligence. It doesn't add more work. It streamlines what you're likely already doing or should be doing.
How so?
Well, it helps you prep for those one-on-ones, capture keynotes from them, understand how your team is actually feeling, track progress on goals. It brings all that vital info together and gives you actionable insights. So you can shift from just reacting to problems to actually leading proactively. It turns a routine meeting into a real chance for strategic growth.
Okay. So it's kind of democratizing access to structured reflection, to data, maybe mimicking some of what a personal coach might offer.
Exactly. These tools, and also tech-first learning programs like Monarch provides, they're built to fit into busy schedules. They minimize time away from the core mission. They offer training that scales, fits tight budgets, whether it's individuals joining cohorts or rolling it out organization-wide. It's about making proactive leadership not just some nice idea, but something you can actually do.
Empowering leaders to take control, basically.
Yes, centralizing information, offering real insights, helping you move from being reactive to proactive. You really don't have to keep leading on empty. Leaders deserve that consistent support. And by embracing some of these newer solutions, you can start to refuel and really amplify your impact.
And in doing that, you're not just helping yourself, are you? You're strengthening your team, your organization, and the mission itself. It's framing development not as selfish, but as essential self-care that directly fuels your ability to lead well long-term. Maybe the real shift here isn't just the tools, but rethinking leadership itself not as just a trait, but as a craft you cultivate with intentional support. Imagine what your organization could do if every leader felt truly fueled.
Thanks for listening to Monarch's AI Cast.
For more insights on leadership and organizational health, visit leadwithmonarch.com.
Don't forget to subscribe and share this deep dive with your team. Until next time, keep leading with purpose.